Hello everyone, welcome to the first chapter in the series Hello Spring Boot. And in this series, I will go with you dive deep into the world of Spring Boot application, Spring Boot framework. This is the most popular framework to build large-scale application. But what is Spring Boot? It's nothing but the most popular, widely used in building large-scale server backend application. It can handle high traffic and scalable, and is already a standard of enterprise-grade application. Are you ready to boost up your development backend skill? Because in this series, I will come with you, gives you all of my knowledge, all of the practical knowledge from my 5 year experience working with Spring Boot. And I will give you all of the tips and tricks and knowledge so that you can build, apply it to the real world application, as well as some hand-on project for the interviews. Because after the series, I'm sure that you will not only understand Spring Boot, but also you will love it. Because you will understand deeply the concept, all of the code behind the scene. You will not only learn the surface of Spring Boot, but also know the deep dive that behind of the iceberg. All right, everybody says Spring Boot is fast, but why? In this series, I will go into and uncover all of the secret about Spring Boot, why it is to go framework for all of the developer. And not only that, you will get the hands-on experience right from the first episode. So those you don't waste any time, any energy. Let's deep dive right now. All right, everyone, let's go directly to the class today. So the first thing I want to mention before we start is we're gonna use Spring Boot by IntelliJ IDE for this class. And also, never forget to take note because I'm not only gonna give you a lot of tricks to work on Spring Boot, but also a lot of interview questions that you're gonna meet in the future. So all of the knowledge you're gonna be condensed in here. All right, let's ready and start. I will open IntelliJ and have you go with you to build our custom database because this is the fastest way to understand how the thing run behind Spring Boot. Eventually, it's a tool to connect to the database and manage the database. All right, let's do that. Let's create a new project. Name is Hello Spring. And I recommend you don't put any space in between of the name because it's gonna have Linux or Mac running on Unix system easier to access our file in the future. All right, that using JDK is Java 11, and that should be it. Create. All right. All right. For any of you first time here, you may probably see that the phone of IntelliJ is a little bit small. So you can open the file, choose IntelliJ right here, choose setting in the phone. In the appearance and behavior, you can see that we had a zoom right here. So you can choose higher zoom and to size of the phone is lowest because the phone here, I can show you, if we choose the number 18, you can see that the left tree, the left side, the tree table, it being zoomed out as well, and also with menus. But the code size it remains the same. So we want more, is the code is more larger, so it's more readable. We don't want to spend too much space on that to lead the file name. All right. And because in this class, I will also teach you how to manage the file, how to move between the file effectively as a pro. So I'm gonna move the side back to edge and give it the zoom it big like this. All right. So let's start to build our very first custom database, because this is how the Spring Boot is work internally. I'm gonna give you a free pass access directly to the inner root of Spring Boot. All right. So let's make something very simple but effective. All right. Uh, I'm gonna create our new class and name it our database. All right. And in this database, it will have a table, and I want to name it. The table is customer. All right. So we're gonna put the type of data is type of data is array list, and inside it it's a list of a customer. All right. And I gonna name it at a big capitalized name, because it's how we do it in SQL. I'm gonna give you example here. Let me share my screen and you could see that. All right. So if you open the website and you search on Google any SQL table example, some of you probably have the idea of what is going on here. We have the customer table with the customer ID and customer name, customer address, and customer phone. But how we can do that here? We never access, or some of you probably never really work much with SQL. But so in this is what we're gonna do in right now. And the table name is always be capitalized. Right here, as you see, we have a city table with capitalized city. It's a name. All right. And let's moving on back to the code. So in this, we are gonna create a new class and name is customer. All right. And in this customer, we wanna have our customer ID, our customer name, our customer country, and our customer phone number. Let's say that to that phone. All right. And I'm gonna create real quick the empty construction for the customer. So have any of you still remember how we can create an empty constructor? Yes, that's simple. That a name of the class, parentheses and curly brackets. That is. All right. And moving on to the full constructor, full parameter constructor. Because this one we're gonna input all of the name and ID from outside into the object. All right. So we're gonna have the first ID string is name and string is country and string at phone. Uh, and in here we want to assign our inner object with a z pointer. All right. And this class ID, um, this class ID equal ID, this dot customer name equal name, the dot country equal country, and the dot phone equal phone. All right. One relay problem. Why? Okay, right here. So we want to import the class from Java library about arrays. All right. So it's no other complaint. But I forgot to mention with you that when we write something, we never ever forget to run the main class, because this is how you make sure that your code is work flawless. All right. So let me run real quick here before we moving any further coding. So as you can see, the building is run on the very end. So rest assured that sometimes it's slow, but it should work. So here, awesome. So the next thing I want is to write our very custom toString so it can display at a table. All right. So anyone still remember how toString work? How can rewrite toString? Yeah, it's not only with the write toString. You're gonna override it from our toString. So make it public so it can be accessed from outside, and string to string. All right, and in this we're gonna return the string that we want. All right, let's put it at a table type. So I gonna make a little bit font format so you can see it nice and clean. So the first thing is customer ID. So we want to have the customer ID with a simple, all right? Customer ID. And customer name and country and phone. We're going to display it. All right. And our database is good. And let's make it a little bit format on our database as well. Wondering how we can do that, but let's see here. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I want to make a constructor for our database as well. So database, and let's make is customer equal new array list. All right, that should work. And all right, on the main, we're gonna initialize as well. So first thing we're gonna initialize the database. All right, we have the db.customer. It's the thing that we want to access into. All right, we have to add the data into it. Right now, it is an empty array. Okay, so the next thing is, since we have the database already, so we don't have to worry about that as well anymore. However, now is the next step to initialize all of our customer information. C1 equal new customer. And you see, the nice thing about IntelliJ is it support the name display, the parameter display. So you can see that the first thing we need to add is the ID. I'm gonna put it at 1. The next thing is highlight for it is the name. I'm gonna put the name at 4 characters so it's easier to display. And the country I'm gonna make is Korea. And the phone I'm gonna make it 444-555-6666. All right. And I'm gonna use a short keycap. So this is command D in data. All right. And this gonna be a duplicate data that we need to import. I'm gonna make it Adam, Adeline. All right. And cookie. All right. And here from China, Laos, Give it a few space. All right. Let's leave it tight. It's fine. 777. All right. I make them different numbers so it's easier for you to recognize how different it is. And the ID should be this one. All right. And the next thing we want to do is we're going to add the data into the database. And how are we going to do that? You're going to use the command db.customer.add, and you're going to put C1 here. All right. Seems like it's work. So command D to copy all of these line, make a duplicate for that. So we're going to do the same thing for C2 and C3, C4. All right, let's try to print out our database. So let's see what is gonna happen right now if we print out a DB. All right, let's try. All right, as you can see, the database display with the hash code. So any of you still remember what does the hash code mean? Yeah, the hash code here is actually not print out the content of the database, but the address of the database, where it's saved in the memory, the address of the memory. All right. So if we want to print out a database, we have to again like override the toString method so it can print out. So this is the way that it let the server know, it let the computer know that we should print out at a certain format, but not the address at an original. All right. So I'm gonna put it public toString, string toString, and in this we want to return customer toString. All right, and let's try one more time. All right, perfect, perfect. All right, now you can see that it's kept inside an array type, and also it's separate by a column. All right. However, I still wanted to make it like separate like a new line. All right. So in order to do that, I wanted to add one more thing here is escape line. So it's gonna print a new line every single time. Okay. And yeah, and let's run let's try. All right, perfect, perfect. You see, now we have a table exactly what we see so far from the example from the website. I will open it again to compare. All right. So we have our code example, and look at this. It's exactly similar to whatever the table is right here. As you see, we have the column name, the address, and the phone. All right, it's kind of similar to things like this. However, this is not any special, but this is the core point of how Spring Boot is work. It helps you to map your class into the table in SQL. However, right now we not dive deep into how it's made, how it's the setup, the complex setup is. But I'm gonna show you the next important thing that all of the interviewer like they're gonna ask you in the interviews. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to build a JSON file. Why the JSON, but not on other file? Not TXT, not document, but JSON. Because JSON is very lightweight format and is already a very standard format like to transfer the data from this server to other server, and the JSON is sent through an HTTP request. If you ever wonder what is the HTTP mean, rest assured I will cover it in the next lecture. However, we're not dive into it right now, but I could show you real quick how it look like. So if you open any website and you see our URL is right here. So you can see right now we are getting the data from Google, right? We're getting data from Google with HTTPS. The S stands for security protocol. So this protocol already being secure. So we safe to access and work on the website. All right. So, but how the Google gives you all of the lead information? So basically, Google gives you a list of data, a table, right? A table, a list of data, and the data that contains the link of the image. So that is how you see all of the image it display like this. Or if you click on all, you can see that Google display everything at a list of link and hyperlink, and we use that and to read the data, right? So this is how when I say a server communicate to another server, our computer also consider as a small server. It does not work 24/7, but basically it's still able you for communicate to a big like Google server. All right. So the next thing we want to do, make a JSON. All right. So to make a JSON work, we want to using library from Jackson, faster HTML, and we want to use it and set it up from Google. And I will show you the real data, like how the software developer they searching for their library as well. So in this case, we're gonna use Maven as a standard table for library for faster HTML. All right, let me share the website. So on here, we can say JSON format Java library. And you can easy to see that, let me see. All right, JSON Java library. All right. Best. As you can see that file useful library is Jackson, JSON. All right. And in this example, we're gonna use Jackson. All right. And we're gonna use searching Jackson, 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 Maven. All right, we will use Maven repository, and from now on, you will see this website a lot. Not this one, but the Maven repository one. All right. As you see right here, we're gonna need 3 packets from JSON. The first one is Jackson database. The second one is Jackson core, and the third one is Jackson annotation. And we're gonna copy the name of this one here. Copy. Currently, we are using this one for our simple web app, for simple our database app. But in the future, I will show you another way to import the library, and that is why it is used as a standard in the tree. All right. So let's go on here and choosing file and project structure. In the library tab, click on from Maven and paste the link here, searching for that. And as you can see, you already see the Jackson annotation 2.15.0. I'm going to choose this one. And you can choose any of these. You can choose any of these and save, as long as the version is matching. Matching with what? Keep watching, I will show you. All right. All right. Now we have the JSON annotation. Let's move on to the JSON core. So if we move down the mouse, we can see that we have a JSON core 2.15.0. Yes, we're matching the version of annotation, core, and data binding in the same version. Some of you probably not have any idea about how JSON core and JSON database work and how it's different. So I will just recap for you real quick about how they work internally. So JSON core, turn out is that work with raw JSON. What that mean? It means like when we have a JSON data from our website and from our server, right? And let me show you how it look like actually. Maybe it make more sense when I say it, right? So I can open for you a JSON example and image. Oh, right here. So in this case, we have a first name and last name wrapped inside a quotation mark. And with JSON core, we don't have any mapping, we don't have any idea of what it was. We just check for quotation. It's searching for the quotation. Next quotation is what? What is the value for that quotation? So it helps the tool to work with that. However, in the data bind, it helps you to mapping the data directly from JSON into the Java class. Awesome, right? Awesome, right? So this is very great tune for using in Spring Boot, because this is the how a professional developer in Java as in Spring Boot work. He have to know how to convert from a Java object to JSON and vice versa from JSON to Java object, because it's how he understands to transfer the data between the service. Later on, you will know the microservice. This is how exactly they transfer the data. So I can open the GitHub here, and let's say faster XML. This is GitHub about JSON core and JSON data byte. And in here, giving you all of the information, how you can use it in Spring Boot. See, perfect. Thank for the team of Maven, for the developer, for the contributor. This is the open source project. And here, you see, it's help you mapping from a Java class opposers to JSON and back, right? See my values, name, and you're gonna use object mapper is read values, or you can use a read value from JSON and convert it back to the value idea here. So it's like this is convert back from JSON to Java. This is how you initialize. All right. In this example, I will also show you how we're gonna convert our database into a JSON type and send it to other server. So let me open the code real quick and start right onto the example. So here and we can write another toString methods. And in this case, we're gonna write a public string and name it to JSON string. I'm gonna show you how you can do it from scratch. All right. So return, all of the JSON object always wrap inside a curly bracket. All right. And what is the next thing? All right. So inside, we want to give an, all right, like this. See, this is how you insert the quotation mark inside this quotation. So give it a name here. We can do is curse ID, and it's separated by a colon. So in here we can put is like another curse ID. All right. And after that we can use comma. All right. So basically we will repeat this process a few times. Before we moving on, I forgot that the customer ID will be not wrapped in quotation marks since it is an integer. However, in other type of the case, like integer and boolean will not be wrapped inside quotation mark. However, in string type, we're gonna need to wrap it. So we're gonna duplicate it real quick here using Command D, and we're gonna repeat the customer name, the country. We want the name is exactly at the variable, and customer name, country, and phone. And don't forget that you also have to wrap it inside a quotation. All right, perfect. Let's try it one more time how it print out so far. Okay. Um. Yeah, that's it. It looked good to me. So here, open our main website, and on this case, we want to write a for loop. Since we don't using override toString anymore, so we have to write our custom one, customer inside our customer C. This is for each loop, and inside our db does customer. All right. In here, we're gonna say system out and C dot to JSON string. All right. Let's save and give it a try. See, almost perfect. Almost perfect. Do you see anything wrong in this case? Everything is displayed nicely. I think it's right here. Unless one thing, it's supposed to separate by a comma between each object, not inside. So I need to change it a little bit. All right. So yeah, try it, run it again. See, perfect. Now everything worked flawless. All right. All right. So now it is the next step. The next step we want to do is writing our, let's say we had a message that we already had a JSON file, and I'm gonna use this one at our JSON. All right. And let's give it a new variable. So let's say in this case, our phone is access to the server, right? And the server send a response. back to our phone about the customer list. The same way like Google send the response back to our website and send us back the list of things, the list of the website that we're searching for, right? It's the list of the result that we're searching for, like here. So you see, when we're searching for something, Google return the response as a JSON file, with the list of data that we're looking for. So we want, so in this case, let's say we already get the data, right? We already get the data. So we want to do something with our data, right? This is mimic the way how you convert from JSON back to the Java object using data byte. Are you ready? Let's start. So the first thing we want to do is we want to prepare our server response. So let's say, okay, JSON server response. Ooh, perfect. And because it's an array, so I'm gonna wrap it inside a curly bracket. So the next thing we want to do is we're gonna use an object mapper in faster XML. Add an example you see right in the front of the GitHub, right? We're gonna using object mapper, and give it om dot oh sorry, my bad, new object mapper, and this we're going to use object mapper dot read value, and in here we want to input our JSON server response. But how can I know that? How can I know that, right? You want to know why can I know that? Because you see right here, we had a lot of option. But see the option right here, we have string contents and class, a type reference, a type value of ref, this one, the content. We're gonna put the content of JSON content here, all right? So we're gonna put our JSON server response, and the next thing we're gonna put is type reference, all right? See, type reference, and we're going to put is a customer, all right, dot class. Yeah, I think we have to return it at a list of customer class, and yeah, we have to import it. But we have to import, no, not this static one. We need to import add an array list. So make sure you import the right thing. Click on more action. No, maybe not here. Leave it like that first. No worry. And we want to assign it into the array list of our customer class. All right. Customer. Okay. Our decoded JSON. All right. So as you can see, now we have a good syntax here. But I want to show you a little bit more extra about this syntax, since it's a little bit complicated and it not normally well understand if you want to do it by your own in the future. So take a minute and walk with me so I can bring you some extra fun fact about this syntax. All right, you ready? So if you open the website from Fast XML, I can share my screen. All right. As you see on the instruction, they already give us 3-minute tutorial about how we can convert from the JSON. If you have the POSO value, you can just, as long as the JSON structure is matched, the types are simple, and you have some POSO value already, and you want to convert it, right? And it can handle the list and map. And in the example, they use mapping. However, in our example, I use list, array list. So we basically that follow the same syntax here, since it's very first tutorial inside the documentation. So you don't have to really browsing anything fancy here. That go through it, read it, and you're gonna be amazed by their excellent work. See, now we have like object mapper dot read values and JSON source at a JSON and new type reference map. As in here, we use array list here, and follow is by open and close parentheses and curly brackets. But why? All right. Now you have some idea about how can I write some of this code. All right. Let's moving on to the next step. What is this? So you already see this one. Easy. This is initiate an object, right? Any initiate like a new object is this one. But why you need this one? Why you need a curly bracket? Some of you may not really learn Java. You don't have time to learn Java. So this is we call it an anonymous class. And since this one, and as you can see, the type reference is abstract class, so you cannot really initiate it. But to initiate, you need to override the content inside. All right, you need to override, or you can make it an anonymous subclass. This is how you can uh, initiate an unnamed class, because this class doesn't have a name. Seems it is abstract, and abstract cannot be initiated as the class you see right here, as class and database, because database is not an abstract. Abstract class is a class but cannot initiate. It's class built for like inheritance. You can think about that. It's like it's built in for inheritance in the future. Some class gonna be inherited from that class. However, so that is the reason why we use an extra curly bracket here to make a new class initiate. All right. So in this case, is our job is pretty much done. The only thing we left to do is print out it. All right. So let me print out a live breaker here, so you can see that from this new line we're gonna have a news class. So here we're gonna print out system out decodation. This is our customer list but in object. All right, and click is to say toString and then play. Oh, what is that? What has happened? You see what is happened right now? So the reason why it doesn't work is I do it on purpose. And it say unrecognized field cause ID is not marked as ignorable. All right. The reason is what happened in the behind the scene is cannot access the get function. Not about it cannot get any ID, but it's accessed through a getter and setter function. It get the value from JSON and it set the value for the object. All right. So what we're gonna do next is write our own setter and getter function. Since Spring Boot, since Java IntelliJ support the generator for that, so I also want to introduce you by right-click, generate getter and setter, and you hold shift to print out all of those. As you can see, we have very nice setter and getter. Let's try one more time from the main function. Voila! What have you see? What have you see? What have you see? All right, this is our final result. We finally able to decode the Java JSON, a JSON from server into Java. And why we're going to do that? Because we can do anything with the data that we get, right? We can do it easily right from Java code. Let's say you want to get extract all of the country. You don't care about the people, right? You don't care about the people, but you care about who stay in which countries. So we can just write like two string instead of two string. We can say to get country, right? JSON decode. All right, and let's say we write a for loop, right? For customer uh, customer C inside our decode JSON, and we want to print out all of the country that people is living currently right now. So I can may say like, for example, we can write a custom logic right from the JSON file. So this is the magic, right? So let's say system out and say all of the country that people is currently living on. All right. And you're gonna say c dot get country. Easy, easy. All right, but before that, we need to wrap it inside a printr function, right? Not paste inside. Okay. Now it's good. Let's try one more time. See, congrats, you are at the first baby step into our server, into the backend world. Welcome to the backend world. Z example is exactly what people do day by day in the real world. They get the data. Besides of setting up all of the necessary cloud information, they decode the JSON. Working with that information, they decode it, working, filtering it. They filter to get that only country, maybe only the country in Asia, country in the time zone. Let's see, country that had the most people living on, so they can do something with the marketing. So this is a very important step to go into become a professional software engineer backend. All right. So in the next chapter, I will go with you to slowly transition this step into the bigger Spring Boot. All right. You're gonna see very similar thing in Spring Boot. But still, I will try to keep it as simple as possible. Will help you wrap the big foundation. And not only that, you will be able to study on yourself, even after the class, so you can maintain your fitness, you can maintain your form, even no one is going together with you anymore. You still being in shape. So see you in the next class.